This is the Note Closer Show, where you get the latest developments in distressed note investing and learn the secrets of how you can control millions of dollars worth of property for pennies on the dollar. Get educated and entertained by someone who has closed thousands of deals and lives to support you in achieving the same. Now, here's your host, CEO of We Close Notes, Scott Carson.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, Scott Carson, excited to be here with you today. And I got a very special guest who is doing some big things in the real estate investing community. And I've been friends with this person for quite some time, and I'm always just blown away at this lady's passion for really helping other real estate investors not only get the knowledge they want to, but make it available to those that are starting out. Make it available by bringing great speakers in, great content experts into vendors to really provide, I guess you could say, a kind of a one-stop spot or shop for real estate investors in different areas across the country, different communities, to really learn and take what they're learning and applying it in real-world situations with a real estate investing career. And we all start someplace. We all start new. And that's one thing I think most people sometimes forget, is that we all put our pants on one leg at a time. This lady is helping new and seasoned real estate investors all across the country doing some great things. And the lady I'm talking about is Linda Pliagas. She's the founder and owner of Realty411.com, which is an online network for real estate investors. Realty411 also publishes online and print magazines under the Realty411 and REI Wealth titles. Realty411 has also hosted live real estate expos in 10 different states in an effort to meet their magazine's readers and followers in person. So we are honored to have Linda Pliagas join us. What's going on, Linda? How's it going today?
Hi, Scott. Thank you so much for having me. What a pleasure.
Oh, we're glad to have you too. I mean, we've known each other, what, 5, 6 years, 7 years now?
Oh boy, it's been about 8 years.
8 years,
yeah,
definitely.
It's been a while since Tim's REI Expo.
That's right. Since he launched that in Dallas years ago.
Yeah.
And you've grown such a great community. Why don't you talk a little bit about what it led to kind of start, Realty411 in the expo scene?
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Realty411 is an online community. We also print magazines. We host webinars. We send out emails from our sponsors, people that support Realty411 and join us at our expos and events. And we have expos around the country, especially here in California where we're based. And surprisingly, I'm such a big believer about networking that we were hosting events even before I had Realty411 Magazine. I started as an agent, and that was one of the ways that I met people and prospects and clients is by hosting small events at libraries or community centers, just to introduce people to real estate and kind of get them motivated to take action. And that's how I started, getting some clients. And my specialty at the time was buying out-of-state investments as rentals. So I've been an out-of-state investor since 2005, and my husband and I have owned in 4 states. So a lot of people that knew that, really wanted me to help them get started, and really they were fascinated by the fact that we could buy a 4-unit property, say in Texas, for $190,000 or $200,000, whereas here in California at the time they were going for like $600,000. So, wow! And out-of-state investing is also wonderful because it allows a lot of investors to get started as using real estate as an investment tool and for passive cash flow. And again, in our state, it's so expensive that it prohibits a lot of people from becoming investors. So that's why my events have grown and they've become so popular, because we do provide information to investors about honest, wonderful companies out there that can help them buy properties out of state. And they can buy them for $25,000, $150,000, $100,000. I mean, there's a wide range of properties. And as you know, even in notes, I mean, you could buy a note out of state. California, forget it. They're so expensive and they're difficult to get as well. But it just opens up a lot of doors. So that's how I started it. I became a source of 411 of information, and I just love real estate. I really do. It's been a passion for me for a long time. And I kind of became obsessed with real estate because as a teenager, my parents lost their home when I was 15, and it really it kind of shook me up, but at the same time, it made me an adult really quickly, where I became very goal-oriented, and I knew that, okay, I have to educate myself. I have to, go to college and become someone and be a success. But we all know that college doesn't mean you're going to be successful, but it's a good start. At least it gives you a foundation. But the first way I got started was buying our first home, and we found a distressed property that nobody wanted. We had no money at the time, but we were able to acquire private financing through family that they didn't give us the money, though. They lent us the money. We also paid them interest on that capital every month, and then 5 years we paid off a balloon payment, so they made money every month on their investment, and it allowed us to get started in real estate investing. But the way I got started, I always remember that somebody helped us get started. That's how we were able to get our foot in the door. And I've never forgotten that. And that's why, we host the events, and we have our magazine absolutely free, where everybody can download it. They can read it online. They can print articles they want to really study. And that's why we do it complimentary, because I always remember that we got started because somebody helped us, and we just love that fact that we can help other people at least acquire the knowledge and maybe even the motivation to take action.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I mean, I think we all had that person that's helped us out at the beginning, or people in some cases in a variety of different ways, especially when we're moving from, not only when we're getting started, because we all got to start someplace, but also transitioning or evolving into different markets or different niches of real estate investing as we grow as investors and entrepreneurs. I love the fact that you realize, hey, I got to start buying out of state initially, and we've got a big chunk of our listeners in Note Nation in California that are also dealing with that. Let's talk about that a little bit. What was the kind of hurdles that maybe you had, or mind blocks initially, that you overcame into buying something in Texas when you're in Southern California?
Well, luckily my situation was a little bit different, because I only lived literally 20 minutes from LAX at the time when I started out of state investing. So it was, not so difficult, where the airport was right there. We were also on the flight path at our home, and we would see them, travel. And I would just stare up and say, you know what, my property is only 2 hours away, or 3 hours away. And that's how I overcame the fear, Scott, because we all are afraid. Let's face it. I mean, it's especially for the new investor, someone who hasn't done it before, they will be fearful. Other people will talk them out, will try to talk them out of it, just like my family tried to talk me out of it. What are you doing? Don't go there, blah, blah, But you just have to know that, no, it does work. It can work. There is a wide network out there to help you. Of course, you're not going to be successful alone. Real estate is a people-oriented business. So you do need boots on the ground, you need a property manager, or you need a team to help you. But there are people that can do and are willing to help you. And they're helping their business grow as well. Like in our network, at one point, a lot of my associates, family, and acquaintances started buying properties out of state. And in 1 year, we referred like $5 million worth of referrals to South Texas. And because of that, the property manager literally had to hire 2 more people. Like we grew their business exponentially. And I'll never forget that. And that was an incredible feeling. But it just shows that, we need one another. Like we need them. And they're also relying on us, because the fact that a lot of Californians do have equity in their properties or in their rental investments here. And, they do want to tap into that equity, but the cost of property now here is so high that a lot of them like to diversify and use some of that equity to buy for cash out of state. And that's a really good model, and one that, a lot of investors have utilized before. But anyway, the initial fear was easy because I was close to the airport. I had already traveled. What I recommend is that even before you buy, zero in on a location that you want to specialize in or kind of target. And it helps if you like the area, or maybe you have family or friends there, because that way, you can, when you go visit, it's a tax deductible workation, work and vacation. So if you like a certain city, a certain market, if you have family or friends in a certain location, that may be a good place to start investing out of state.
That's a really good point, is that, if it's too expensive where you're not seeing the deals, there are other places and other vendors in those markets, other areas. And like you said, that's what I love about Austin, is I'm only 2 hours or 3 hours from 95% of the country if I via South Airlines, real close, or sometimes a little bit longer if you get the layovers, but there's usually nonstops just about everywhere. And that, especially right now, flights are really cheap if you need to jump on and go take a look at the market with what's going on. You've hosted expos in 10 different states. You've had one in South Texas, down in the valley, down there, California, home state. What are some other states that you have that you've had them in, or you have them on the down the road on the future plan?
Sure. Well, we've had events also in Florida, in northern Florida, Tampa, as well as southern Florida, Miami, Boca Raton, and Fort Lauderdale. We've also hosted events in New York State, both in Long Island as well as in Manhattan. So that's a lot of fun. I love New York. It's such a vibrant city. So that's a fun place to visit. And then we've also hosted events, of course, in Las Vegas, everybody has to have an event there, right? So, and then we've hosted events in Arizona, in Washington State, in Oregon, and let me see in Illinois, Chicago, and then in Georgia. We've also had events in Atlanta, Georgia as well.
Nice. You have a very good diverse area of places and hot markets and places for people to find out. Now you do a really good job of blending national experts with local people. You want to talk a little about that and kind of what your philosophy for that is?
Sure, absolutely. Well, we have a big social media following, and we do have a lot of readers around the country, and that's why we like to travel and visit them, because we realize that, a lot of people may not be able to come out to California and get to know us and our sponsors and vendors. So we like to go to them, and we like to meet people locally. We love to meet like the heavy hitting investment professionals locally who are doing deals. That way we can connect them with our network, and hopefully even they can start sharing, some of the properties that they have available, or maybe they can start doing webinars, for our readers and such. So basically that's why we travel. We want to connect with people on a local level, and we realize that not all of them can come out, but Scott, we've been really blessed because we've had people come out to California, to New York, to Florida from other parts of the country. One time for our event in Illinois, we had a doctor from Massachusetts come out who was interested in investing in Illinois. And we've also had people fly out from Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, all over the country, come out to California to have a vacation and also join us at one of our events. So that's spectacular. But again, for those of you who can't do it, we always try and have events in major cities across the country, so we can get to know people in person, because we realize that's the best way to network, and that's the best way to also do business, because trust is so important in real estate, and it should be. We're dealing with our hard-earned money and investments, and we really want to get to know people in person if possible, and if possible to really dive into different markets and learn what makes them different. And every region is completely different. It's spectacular. Doing this business has allowed me to see America, and it's the most spectacular thing. It's a big perk.
It is totally out there. And you've done a great job. You've got an online community of just about 6,000 people in your group. And then you've got a couple different magazines that you guys run, REI Wealth, besides Realty.
Yes.
What's the size? Oh, there you go. REI Wealth Mag. There you go.
Yeah.
And then you got Paul Fink on the cover this month's episode. Great episode. Great article. How's that grown for you? How has leveraging a magazine helped you grow your audience, and what's been the biggest surprise from that?
Wow, it's been wonderful because my major is journalism, and media has been, my love since I was a little girl. It's a passion that my stepfather passed on to me, and that was one of the ways that we bonded, is through the written word. So it's something that's really important to me on a personal level. And the reason I got into media is because I wanted to make an impact on a major scale, on a mass scale, and reach people and really try and help them, in their life. And that's why I started the publications. Now, I did start Realty411. REI Wealth was started by Nolan Ericap in San Diego, and he asked me, to help him with that several years ago. And then his mother became ill, so he just said, "Can you just please take it over?" Because he was just very tied up with that. So we agreed to do that, and that's why we have the two different titles, because I wanted to keep my word to him that we would continue to market his brand as well, because I know how important that is when you start something from scratch, and you want to give it life, and you want to see that continue. You don't want that to die. So that's why we continue to do 2 publications, and it's been wonderful because I love educating people and inspiring them, and that's really what our goal and mission is. It's to give information, tips, news analysis, and really provide a support system for people. We do get people who email us on a daily basis, who call us on a daily basis, and they do seek referrals, or they, want to know, hey, when are you going to be coming into town? Or do you have a private lending company that can help me with this type of this type of transaction? So we do get calls all the time, and it's a pleasure to be able to assist people with that. And we just want to continue to give great information. One of the most surprising things, gosh, I guess the most surprising thing has been just, it's not an easy business. It's a difficult business. It's more time intensive than I thought it would be, and certainly more expensive than I thought it would be. Shh. Don't tell my husband. So those are the biggest surprises.
Well, but you've done a really good job growing your network and becoming an expert in the industry by surrounding yourself with other experts. I mean, you're an expert in publishing journalism. You also know the real estate market. So I'm not trying to say anything. It's just, it's nice.
There's always people who know more than us.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
As a mentor of mine once said, Charlie Tremendous Jones says, we're the average of the 5 people we hang around with the most. And so if you want to increase your wealth and your knowledge, hang out with people that know more and make more money than you. And that's a great way to grow your own bottom line if you need to. Now,
absolutely,
you do a really great job of putting together these events, and they're not 3-day, 4-day events. They're really action-packed, mostly 1-day or 2-day events. Right?
1-day events. We tried doing 2-day events, but honestly, Scott, the second day was difficult, for people to come back a lot of times. And honestly, I was wiped out by it took so much stamina out of me. I was like, we're going to just keep them short, 1-day events.
That's great, though. That's phenomenal. It gives people an opportunity to still enjoy their weekend. Let's face it, the mind can only absorb what the ass can withstand, right? And so if you're sitting for 2 days straight, it's hard. You're right. Unless you're there for just, second day is just your first day. But you do events basically run 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. if I remember correctly.
9 a.m. to 5, and then we take, breaks in between so we can network, so we can get to know the exhibitors and they can share information. So for the event in Irvine on March 28th, we'll have simultaneous sessions going on so people can choose what they want to listen to. And, that's normally we navigate between single session events and 2 breakout session events. And it just depends on the city and what we predict, how many people will join us, our prediction in that, because we really want, my preference, of course, is 2 breakout sessions going on at the same time so people can actually choose what they want to learn, because sometimes they already know a certain topic and they want to learn something else. So that's always my preference, but we have to be careful because our sponsors are so important to us and we want to make sure that they're all happy, and there's a lot of pressure to bring in a lot of people when you do 2 breakout sessions. So you just have to make sure that the numbers are there to to do that, because we want to make sure that the sponsors that help us actually open the doors to allow people to come in complimentary to our events. We want to make sure that they are happy and they benefit.
Yeah, that totally makes a lot of sense. The last thing you want to do is not have enough people there for both people speaking at the same time. It's but then also, I mean, the markets because you've been doing them in different places, so you know who's going to show up and who's going to be there. But you also make it very affordable, not only for the attendees, but for your vendors as well.
Yes, we do.
Lot of, like I look at events and I'm like, oh, people want $5,000, $10,000 for a sponsorship. And I'm like, great, that's awesome. Doesn't fit in the budget all the time. You want to talk a little bit kind of about your pricing?
Sure. Yeah, it's really affordable. We have affordable pricing. We charge $13.50 to speak, and then the exhibitors are generally $8.95. But for smaller events, we even go down to $5.95 and such. We do keep it quite affordable. The reason we do that, again, it takes time to do business in real estate. You're not going to meet people and go into contract overnight with them. That's just not how, this business works. I mean, sometimes it does, and great, it's wonderful when you can grow your business in that manner. But generally, it takes time to build relationships with new customers, and we know that. And we know that marketing is a very relationship-oriented business. And I know, from the marketing that we do, that in marketing, it's something that you have to do continually. You can't just start marketing and then stop. If you want to really build your brand and be successful, it's something that you have to do on a pretty repetitive basis. And that's how we do our marketing, and that's how I suspect our clients want to do their marketing. So we really cater to long-term relationships and continual business from our clients. That's what has helped us maintain to be in business. It's not the amount that we charge, but they continually come back to us and say, hey, Linda, I have a webinar next week. Can I send out an email campaign with you? Or, hey, Linda, next time you're in town, I want to sponsor your event because now I have a little bit more of a budget because my last deal with you guys closed.
Right.
So, I mean, that's how things work. And I realize that we try and keep things affordable too by the way we run our business. We're very virtual oriented. We do employ people in the US. We have writers in the US, around the country, but they're all independent contractors. We used to have, more people on staff here in California, but I decided against it because I knew in order to maintain that, I'm going to have to start charging those prices that you said,
Right.
And I really don't want to do that. I wanted to keep the model as is. So I made the choice of being a very virtual international company. So we do have writers and telemarketers that work independently as independent contractors here in the US, but we do employ and have employed for over 8 years, people in other parts of the country to work for Realty411. So they do graphic design for us. They do web design, virtual assisting. So we have been very avant-garde in our business since the very beginning, employing an international staff of people to help run the business as inexpensively as possible.
That's very helpful for everybody. I mean, that's the thing, is helping people get rock and roll. And you're always looking to, if somebody's got a case study or an article on something, an expert that you're always looking for content to add to either one of the magazines too, correct?
Oh yes, please. If anybody's an expert in their field, we're always looking for great content that's real estate related. Market studies, we love that. Whatever your niche is, we're definitely interested. I would encourage people to email, pitch us their articles at info@realty411.com. info@realty411.com. They can contact us directly, and we would love to share their information, especially the market experts out there. We really need you to help educate people because a lot of our readers, they need it.
Well,
we constantly have to inform them because you know what? We forget. It's like a language. If you do not practice, a foreign language, you're going to forget it. And real estate in our brain, we have to really use it. We have to continually learn and educate ourselves. And I'm a firm believer of lifelong learning.
now you've got a big event that you host out of the 401 in Dallas every year,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You see over 700 people showing up to your event there in Dallas and registered for it, correct?
The one in California, the
Oh, my
LA
apologies.
Grand, yeah. The LA Grand Expo, we had over 700 people last year. And the reason we were able to do that is because we partnered up with so many other great companies, such as the Los Angeles Real Estate Investor Club, run by Lloyd Siegel. He was one of our producers in that show. Then Sam Sadat also partnered with us with Sam's Real Estate Club. And then we had Bill Tan with the LA Asian Real Estate Club. And we had Deborah Razzo with the Women Real Estate Network. I mean, we had amazing people that helped bring that expo to life and promote it. And it was an amazing day. I would encourage other people from, you know, all over California and out of state, if you really want to meet a lot of people, we will be having another event September 26th in Los Angeles, and that'll be our second annual Los Angeles Grand Expo.
So that's Saturday, September 26th.
Yes, it's Saturday.
Saturday. And what's the price for that for people to attend?
Complimentary, Scott.
Hang on a second. What?
Free.
Como se dice free?
Gratis.
Latis, exactly. Como se
Gratis.
dice,
Gratis.
habla mucho real estate. Now, do you also have a VIP seat as well, too? I've seen you have that at some of your events if people want to sit up front.
Yes. Yeah, if they want to upgrade, they can upgrade for $27, and that way they can sit in the front. They can network with our speakers and sponsors and have, you know, more access to them. And then they also get a gift bag with our publication and other resources to help them.
That's really nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, with everything going on in the market, obviously you've got one in a couple, actually when this comes out, just in a few days, actually, not too, but
the 28th.
You've already made some adjustments.
Yes.
For what's going on with the coronavirus. Any of the future events, you make adjustments on what you're doing and how you're doing it, so people can stay attuned to that, whether they're still in person or you end up doing online or you just spreading it out a little bit. But how many events are you doing a year on an average basis, Linda?
Let's see, for 2020, we're going to be doing about 6 to 8 events. I would say 8 events because there's some events we haven't announced yet, and they're going to be later on in the year. And one of the reasons we haven't announced it is because, you know, of what's going on with the coronavirus, which we are keeping a very close watch on. We were actually the first real estate media to report on what was going on with COVID-19. And the reason is because our little town of Solvang, where I'm based, it was hit drastically economically with the coronavirus a month and a half ago. We saw our economy here is very tourist oriented, and most of our tourism at one point were Asian tourists from Asia. And I mean, they were coming in busloads. So during the week, they were the most, you know, they were the people that came the most as a tourist, you know, community here in our area. So a month and a half ago, we saw that shut down, and it was really interesting because I was, in a sense, our business, and we were impacted with all this coronavirus that's going on. We were impacted already like a month and a half ago, and I've been seeing it, you know, progress. So it was very interesting. We were one of the first real estate media to report on the coronavirus in the real estate community and what was going on. And we gave an analysis on how real estate investors were coping and what they thought was going to happen due to this virus. And you can find it on Realty411.com. It's right on top because it's so important. And we're going to be updating people on this issue. We are taking steps with the hotel for the event. For example, we're going to have plastic cups, plastic dishes for our coffee and for, any food that we have. We're also spacing people very far away from one another in the seating. They're not going to be all, squished together in one row. We're going to have adequate seating available, far enough away from one another. The hotel's going to have hand sanitizers and sanitizers around the perimeter of the event, as well as on the registration tables, by the water sections. They're going to do a complete sanitation of the perimeter before the expo. So we are taking very careful measures because of what's happening. And, I'm in communication with the hotel, and we told them earlier this week, we need to put a plan in place, a safety precautionary plan for our guests. And they were all in agreement. They've been wonderful to work with. And, as a trained journalist, Scott, I mean, journalists really find this, I don't want to say this is an exciting time, because it's very stressful and it is awful for the families of people that have died and for those that have died. But as a journalist, we are trained to to report on things like this and to educate ourselves on what's going on in current events. So, we're taking this very seriously, but at the same time, we're keeping calm and we're keeping things in line and in perspective, knowing that more people die every year, have died every year of the common cold, the flu, car accidents, alcoholism, heart disease. Unfortunately, there's a lot of health ills, that we all need to be cognizant about and be careful about.
Yeah, and I think the impact of this isn't more so sickness or death. I think it's going to be because there's such a high mortality. I mean, there's a high recovery rate, not mortality, or a higher recovery rate unless you've got, dealing with something, diabetes or heart disease or something like that. Then you just want to make sure that you take really extra precaution to take care of yourself. But I think the longer lasting effects is going to be is unemployment, or people that just don't have the savings saved for a 30-day, a 2-week, or even beyond that type of thing. When you look at what's happening with all the major sports leagues suspending things, the tourist industry. I mean, we're here in Texas, here in Austin, with South by Southwest getting canceled. It was a $1.6 billion hit to the market, and a lot of that's in your restaurants, your hotels, your service professionals, the pedicabs, the bartenders, the wait staff, your hotel crews, the cleaning crews too. That's where I think the biggest underlying effect is going to be. It's going to be that ripple effect. Okay.
Yes.
Can't afford to pay our bills, can't afford to stay in our houses. The job's not paying. What do we do to overcome this hiccup? Most people aren't saving any money, so that leads to opportunities. If you're an investor, whether it's you're buying distressed property or in my case, buying distressed notes.
Yes.
That's why you want to definitely educate yourself on what's going on in the opportunity. I know you've got Scott Myers at your event there, and Scott's a friend and really knows his stuff with the self-storage side of things, and others, tax liens with the
Charles Pipp.
Charles Pipp is
with Charles Sells with the Pipp Group. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, well, I know exactly what you meant. But as I was saying, there's opportunities, and with everything that happens, there's an opportunity. You just have to know the timing and the educational aspect, and that's why Realty411 is the place for information when it comes to the real estate side of things. And and there's opportunities in a bear market or a bull market. Obviously, we're in a bear market now. People are getting scared about their 401ks or their stock market because stuff's dropped. That leads for opportunities to have those discussions about, hey, if your 401k is now a 101k, where are we going to put it to work at, right?
Absolutely. And, I'm just praying that this goes away really quickly, because, I hate to see people hurting. I mean, as an investor, we all know that that's how we do buy property. I've purchased a lot of distressed properties, and I do feel sorry for the people that are going through that, but at the same time, we are helping them. We're alleviating a big stress, because when you're upside down on a property, or when you can't afford that payment anymore, or, you know, your tenants, messed up your place, and you just can't afford to fix it, and you just have to sell it. I mean, we do provide that peace of mind to a lot of people. So it goes both ways. There is a lot of distressed people, but investors, we're not out to take advantage of anybody. We're out to help people and to alleviate the pain that they are going through, because really that's what it is. They're in pain when they have a property or an asset that is no longer working for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is people need to know their options too, because it comes from both sides of the equation, not just the investor side with the opportunities, but also there are options for you as an investor if you are in a distressed market. I mean, you and I both lived through the Great Recession of 2008.
Yes.
These days, most people don't realize that, but if you didn't have a short sale or a foreclosure on your record, you weren't really an investor at that point, right?
Oh boy, yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen again. And that's why, I'm really hoping that the coronavirus will just magically go away. Just go to Pluto or something, leave us alone. We have enough problems.
Well, I think it's like anything else. It'll be like the bird flu or other things like that. It'll run its case, and then it'll be gone. It'll be a hiccup. Some people are getting really nervous about different things. Toilet paper is sold out in Walmart's across. I had a buddy who's in Phoenix. Like, I can't even have Amazon delivered. It's sold out. And you see that stuff, you're like, okay, just take a deep breath, chill, relax.
Yes.
If you're doing the right, if you're not feeling good, don't go to an event. That should be common knowledge.
No.
But protect yourself. Take some extra vitamin C, vitamin D. Wash your hands. Network. If you do the elbow bump versus handshakes, that's okay.
Yes.
Just do those things that are. I wish common sense was common, but unfortunately, it's not in a lot of cases. And
absolutely.
If you're not, and let's just face it, if you're in Irvine on September 28th, there's not any baseball to watch. There's no basketball. There's no hockey. And you might as well head out to, where's the hotel out there in Irvine?
Yes, it's the Atrium Hotel on MacArthur Boulevard in front of John Wayne Airport. And come and network with the bravest people in real estate, because we will be there. We're the brave folks who nothing can deter us from taking action.
All right. Now, who else do you have speaking at the event? I know we talked about a couple names. I think Dutch Mendenhall was going to be speaking there as well, too.
Yes, Karen Hall will be there, and she's one of our co-hosts, and she's been a great supporter of this event and helping us promote it. And then we're also going to be having Rusty Tweed there, and of course we're also going to be having Gabriel Hicks there, and then let me see who else. We're going to also have Gary Geis, who's joining us all the way from Ohio. And then we're also going to have up in Northern California, Pensco, Self-Directed IRA Trust, Garrett Sutton. We also have Christopher Mesa joining us in Southern California.
Let's talk about
Jones.
Besides self-storage Scott Myers and about tax liens, what are some of the other topics that speakers will be covering?
Sure. So we're going to be covering commercial real estate. Anthony Patrick will be covering fixing and flipping. We're going to be covering wholesale deals, out-of-state investing, private finance. We'll have private lenders there who can lend on not only real estate. What I love about March 28th in Irvine, Scott, is we're going to have people and companies that can fund not only your real estate deals, but also your business. Imagine, for brokers, for agents, title companies, come get the lending, the money that you need to grow your business, and we can help you do that. We're going to have companies there that are going to be lending, not only, you know, for commercial, single family, but hey, expand your business as well.
I guess it helps. What Karen Hall is with what self-directed IRA company as well? Who's your co-host?
Yes, she is with UDirect, self-directed IRA company based in Irvine. And she started the company, you know, right during the recession, and it's a billion-dollar company now. They handle billions in IRA funds, and she's done an incredible job of expanding that business.
Yeah, she's done a really great job of networking and expanding the community because she sees the value in it. And you know, hey, Southern California is a great place to find people with money as well. So if you're looking out there, you may want to jump on a plane and fly out to John Wayne Airport, walk across to the hotel, and start networking with people who are looking to invest or looking for property they can put their hard-earned money to work it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
What's the best way for people to get to RSVP? That's okay. To get a ticket to the event or to get RSVP'd for the.
Sorry, Scott, my dog was going bananas.
All right. I hear her.
Cody, no.
What's the best website for people to go to get registered for the event, Linda?
Sure, it's Realty411Expo.com. That's Realty, REALTY, not reality, Realty411Expo.com.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to that. You know, you've done a great job, Linda. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but you've done a great job providing just not only an amazing content, but you've got a big heart. And if anybody can tell and listen to you here, they can just see it coming out of your pores how you love to help people, how you're really a true connector with amazing things going on, and you like to bring people together to really help those out there as well. Because we all, like we said at the very beginning, we all started somewhere. We all had somebody help. And I can't imagine you've been that person for thousands and thousands of investors across the country. So kudos to you, Linda. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott.
No problem.
Really
all right, guys, you heard it from here. Take the opportunity. If you're looking for, to connect with new investors or find some new opportunities and you're in the Southern Cal area, check it out. Saturday, September 28th from 9 to 5 there at the Hotel. You can either get a general admission ticket for free or VIP for $27 up front there. Does not come with gas masks or plastic cups. You can bring your own for them.
Bring your own.
Exactly. If not, that doesn't work for you, go ahead and get registered for the big LA event taking place September 26th.
Correct.
As well there. So take the opportunity, check it out, Realty411Expo.com. Right. And guys, go out, take some action, and we look forward to seeing you all at the top, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.